What is up, you guys? It is K Swan with Road Rash Off-Road. You guys, we are here to do an upgrade to the Road Rash Jeep that I've been wanting to do for a long time. We are talking about LED rock lights. Now, this is something that a lot of us Jeepers want for our Jeeps, but if you're like me, it's kind of low on the list as far as spreading that money on upgrades for the Jeep. More of a novelty, right? There's a lot of good things that LED rock lights can do for your rig, not just look cool when you're driving at nighttime. If you're doing a lot of night rides or trail rides, that could easily light up the ground so that you can look and see where the rocks are before you start to traverse over top of them. But also, if you're doing an overlanding trip and you're rolling into camp a little bit late, you could use those rock lights to light up your camp underneath, level the Jeep, and be able to set up your camp efficiently. So with that said, I was looking at my calendar for this year. I've got about 4 or 5 overlanding trips coming up just in the first half of the year. And I said, you know what? Let me just go ahead and throw a set of rock lights on the Jeep. Now, I'm not super knowledgeable on lights and lumens and voltages and wattages and all this kind of stuff. When I chose this, it was purely just because reviews on Amazon and cost. That was it. I'm gonna go back to the garage. I'm gonna throw this set of Xprite 6-piece LED lights on the Jeep, and I'm gonna let you guys know if they're gonna be bright enough for what I need to leave on the Jeep. Let's head back to the garage and get this set up. So now that we're back at the garage, the first thing I want to do is pop open this box like we always do and see what came in it. So this is the Xprite 6-pod LED rock light from Amazon. It's probably 60 bucks on Amazon. Once you open it up, you have your 6 pods. It just looks like a very generic kit. Comes with your wire ties, 2 different remotes. One, it looks like for your keys. One, off-brand Chinese LED deal. Mounting screws, and then some directions on how to wire these up. So let's get these laid out on the ground and find out where we want to put them. So after a lot of research online to find out how I want to place these lights, a lot of YouTubers and a lot of other Jeepers all place them the same way. They put one under each wheel well and then another light under the body of the car. Now, my thought is the closer I keep the lights to the ground, the more ambient light is going to be distributed. So I think that I'm going to put 2 under the body of the Jeep here, and then 1 under the back, and on the other side 2 under the body of the Jeep over there, and then 1 in the front. That's going to keep as much light close to the ground, and it's going to illuminate all this bottom part. In the future, if I decide I need a little bit more light, I'll buy another set of 6 and I'll add them to the wheel wells. But for now, let's lay them out underneath the Jeep, see how we're going to distribute them this way. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is grab our LED lights and lay them all out around the Jeep where we're planning on installing them, and then that way we can get a good idea of where we'll be able to run those lines and how we're going to attach them to the Jeep. We're going to start with the brains here, the main wire that connects all of these. We'll go ahead and unplug each one of our pods. It'll make it easier for us to run these wires around. This is going to go to the engine bay. This is going to run to the inside of the car. This will be housed just underneath the engine bay here so that we can run all of these wires there. let's go ahead and start laying things out. So this is the brains of my SPOD and my engine bay. We're going to remove this screw, take this lid off, plug in our wires here, and we'll be able to run down these wires close to the inside of the body all the way to the bottom of the car. Now, if you haven't seen my video about installing this SPOD, go back, watch that link right up here, and go back and watch this video. I really like this SPOD. It's a great SPOD, and I highly suggest it. I know these two here are already my roof lights, and this one, so I'm assuming this one here is going to be our rock lights here. I'm going to take this and feed it up underneath. Now we can take our wires, feed them down in here. We'll zip time them all nice and neat here, push them down into the cab. So I was able to run positive and negative out of here, back here, and drop it down into the engine. You can see go all the way down here in the bottom, and it comes out down here. So this is where I'm going to start to run the lines to separate out the lights. One here, one in the front, and then I'll have to run them on the other side. One here, one here. One in the back. Other side. One here. Here. And then the last one goes to the front. Here we go. We got them all laid out. We're going to take some zip ties, find the best place to put these. Go ahead and start wiring everything up. So for this front light, this right here is going to have too much movement. I think we're going to try to install it right here. I don't think this is going to be an issue for rocks, but if it does, I can move it. Light number one installed. Let's run this wire back around, line it up. Okay, I'm about halfway done with the project. I had to leave real quick, zip tie everything up, and I had to go pick up my daughter from school, but I'm going to show you kind of where we are right now, and then we're going to pick up and do the other side. So I installed, first I wired everything up to my main box here. Then I came under here, wired my first light here to the middle, ran this wire up and through the body over to that area over there by the front door. Then came over here, and I've got one light here that's just kind of zip tied here, and then this back light here, I actually had to screw into the body of the car. There was nothing to zip tie it to back there, so that's no big deal. Just kind of screwed it there. But what I did is, the wires that they send with this are not like super long that you can run all the way around the car. So I took the wire, ran it over the body all the way up here, and then there's a cross member that goes here. This cross member is hollow on the inside, and I was able to run the lines inside the cross member all the way across. It avoids anything that's moving down here, drive shaft or any parts that are moving. It also avoids anything heat related, so your exhaust pipes and everything. So you can run that wire through the middle over there to the other side. Now I've got to come back here. I'm going to start here, wire up the rear one, run this wire around, catch up to this back side here. I'm going to have to drill this one into the car. This one will get zip tied just like we did the other side. And then all of my wires will come and meet right here inside of this panel, basically down in here. Let's go ahead, start wiring up some of these lights on the back side. Well, that finishes the install of these LED rock lights on the Jeep. I know it's still daylight, so we really can't test it out just yet. But as soon as the sun goes down, you best believe I'm going to be out here clicking that button, trying to figure out what it does. Just to kind of give you guys a run through of what I did for the other side. Like I said, the wires are not very long, so I had a really difficult time trying to run that back one all the way up to the head unit. So I actually ended up having to push the head unit down. I'll show you what I did, watch. So you saw what I did with the other side. The back is right under there. I ran that wire up inside the body here. And then here I met up with the next one here. This one screwed into the body. That wire went up through here. So now we got both wires to the last one here. And then inside this body, you've got these holes in here. So I actually took all 6 wires, routed them to this spot right here, zip tied them together and shoved them up inside that hole. So they're up out of the way, and it worked good. All the lines were long enough to meet here. So this is kind of the wire connection point. I may regret that in the future, but right now, this is where it is. So because they're all wired into the brains inside the engine here, they all operate off of my light pod here. If I hit the rock light button here, that activates and turns on the underglow. You can't really see right now, but once the sun goes down and it gets dark, we're gonna hit these, see what it looks like. You guys, thanks for watching this. Like and subscribe, because we have a lot of overlanding videos coming up. These rock lights, once we hit white, it's gonna be awesome rolling into camp. So, like and subscribe. Love you guys. So that underglow puts out a lot of light. I am really, really happy with that, and I'm so glad that I put it in the positions that I did and avoid the wheel wells. We can change to white, different colors. The green. I am really, really happy with this. I may end up adding a couple of more lights, but you don't really need to. Look how much light this puts out. This is beautiful. That is a lot of light.